Distortions. Going forward, whatever you thought was reality or normalcy is going to be distorted. Subtle hazy changes already abound, unless they need a big bang here or there to mask the agenda, to keep the sheep confused and uncertain. First there's what people want to hear, then there's what people want to believe, then there's everything else, then there's the truth. People keep falling for every little distraction because they can't bring themselves to believe the big picture. Those in power understand human behavior all too well. They prey on it, feed on it, and excrete it. It sustains them and makes their propaganda come to life and breed uncontrollably. Every time we fall for a political trap or some unfair policy or lately stock market manipulation, our eyes are being drawn away from the big picture and into petty arguments and rabbit holes of rhetoric. Away from the game of globalization and socialism. Now Bad Touch Joe has everyone looking at environmental policy while signing us back up to all the globalist clubs that spread our resources to them and the rest of the world. He's out there pleasing the parasites, sucking the life out of our country for their best interest. They're not going to change those communist countries that pollute the world because those countries have seen how it impacts production. It sends it right to them. We're being duped so easily on an epic scale. We're giving up everything America stands for by continually handing it over to the rest of the world because it sounds fresh, new, and progressive and unifying. While everyone is either distracted or awestruck or arguing over things that cannot be changed, they are being fleeced in every way possible. How about Creepy Joe declaring a climate emergency? There's 3 to 4 massive countries polluting at will, and we're not one of them because we shipped all of our polluting factories to these unregulated countries and in turn making them wealthy and self-sustainable. Besides the fact that the planet can take care of itself, we're little gnats buzzing around its surface. God is in control of the climate. Sure, we can be good stewards and regulate ourselves into a corner of unsustainability, but now we join every accord out there in an attempt to force our green will on countries that will not conform without raising prices. They have seen us go from an industrial powerhouse to a tourist trap in the name of clean air. They would be fools to bankrupt themselves in the same way, especially if they are willing to unleash a contagion at the mere talk of tariffs. See how easy it is to go down a rabbit hole? The minute America started globalizing itself was the beginning of its end. We now allow input from allies and enemies on how we should run our country. Instead of us maintaining our infrastructure and self-sufficiency, we've handed it all over to speculative groups that want to use us to fulfill their impotent objectives, which simply furthers the proof that our leaders are willing to do whatever it takes to find favor among the globalist, socialist, Great Reset agenda organizations. Under the umbrella of what's safe and healthy for all, even if it means having little to no rights or freedoms. In their sick one-world utopia where we feebly yet expensively attempt to equalize a two-tier society, where the top 5% control everything right down to your rations. How could all of this possibly happen to a free and voting society? The cause is simple. As long as the people live the illusion that our leaders are fairly elected and have the will of the people at heart, we'll believe socialism and globalism is impossible. We're willingly allowing ourselves to be deceived by our leaders because we falsely rely on a system that has seemingly protected us from corruption. Newsflash, our so-called fairly elected leaders have exploited every aspect of the system to their favor and to the favor of their leaders, the corporations, the central banks, and the elitists. Does anyone out there actually still believe that every aspect of our lives is not rigged? Our entire system is in favor of the elites. The top 5% know how to insider trade, how to find every loophole, evade every tax, how to bribe and manipulate anything and everyone. They control our puppet leaders, media, social media, and every government organization in the alphabet. Every one of them has a price, and that price starts with unfathomable deception. They flush our trust with every abuse of power and manipulation. They are willing to do anything, including selling you out and our country out, in order to maintain their power, wealth, control, and to see their sick socialist utopia come to fruition. And it happens every day with your suspension of disbelief. The lies you chase, the petty political arguments, the media rhetoric, market manipulations, the daily barrage of misinformation and distraction from the subtle shadow creeping over us that we refuse to acknowledge or dare shine a light on or rebuke. The majority are sheeple that will follow the wolves to the dinner table and will only realize they are the main course after they have been bitten and have no defense and no escape. I see the furry tails, pointy ears, and the long snarling snouts protruding from our leaders' disguises. Will enough of us see it and chase them back into the wilderness? Or will we continue to let them feed on us, deceive us, fleece us into full submission? Please see around this massive veil of deception, hiding the subtle takeover, and make a stand before we're pent up, reliant, and conditioned to their will. Prepare and resist now, or continue consuming the illusion until it consumes you. Thanks for watching.